Well.
Here we are once again.
Look who's on the podcast today.
Didn't even introduce her, just told him.
Certified Yapper.
That's the
I
point
think
of a
that's-
podcast.
And that's it. That's the podcast.
I mean,
today.
I think that's the official title of Hayden. Official Yapper. That's all you do. And you just been so desperate to get on this podcast because, you know, it is the best podcast.
It's the
And
number one. I mean, right behind Joe Rogan, I think.
Conway,
Right now.
yes.
Oh.
Con-
Well, I think you brought
Conway.
up a joke.
What?
Conway,
Me
South
coming.
Carolina.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, crap, she's actually going to want to come on now. So here we are.
You gave me a topic idea, and I rolled with it.
We have an interesting topic to discuss, but first, I feel like we don't have enough fun energy on the podcast at times. It's
So
very
today
serious.
we're bringing that to the forefront.
So if you don't care about having fun and you just want the juicy,
Just go ahead and skip to the 10-minute mark.
yeah, maybe something like
Maybe something like that. You'll figure it out.
that. When we're not drinking energy drinks.
This is Hayden's segment called Jesus and Juice. So
Juice,
Christians,
spelled Juice. For
yeah, I
any
had to
confusion.
clarify. We should do a Jesus and Jews segment though, and go talk
Oh.
to Jews
Okay, right.
and talk about the gospel.
I'll let you do that one, and I'll film.
Honestly, I think Bruce would be better
My
fit.
gosh.
So we are kicking off something that me and Hayden bond over is that we love caffeine, and so we have
They don't
brought
love,
in.
they're addicted.
It's not an addiction; it's just
Yes,
a
it is.
crave. We brought in 5 different energy drinks. Hayden's brought in 5 energy drinks from the Vitamin Shop. We're going to rank them 1 to 5 and give you a rating of 1 out of 10 based on taste, based on, I don't have the cost of each one. You probably
Not
don't.
a paid sponsorship.
Not a paid sponsorship by any means. We're still looking at Conway Nutrition to be that, Ben.
We're waiting.
But anyways, we've got Rise Sunny D. We've got Ghost Limeade. We've got Ghost Peaches. We've got Seabum's pre-workout. I think it's called Fabbage. And then
Fabbage?
he has a lisp. So he calls it, it's literally THAVAGE, Fabbage. I love it.
And the
It's a
flavors
marketing
Miami
strategy is
Vice.
10 out of 10. What's the flavor?
Miami Vice.
Miami Vice, and then Total War, which is like a Baja Blast type thing. Which
Okay.
that's the one I'm most excited for. And then we're going to talk about breakups, and
Filling voids.
yeah, pretty much. So
So if you want to hear that, skip.
first one though is going to be the Sunny D Rise.
I've had this one.
Yeah,
I
we've
love
had.
this
I
one.
think we've
Well,
all.
I haven't.
Oh, you haven't?
That's
okay.
why I got it.
So
sorry.
one sip. Everybody knows the rules. Honestly, nails the flavor. He's going all in. Nails the flavor.
It does.
I love it.
Really?
Bring them back.
The Rise. Everybody
Yeah, but
else
I do
didn't
love
like
them.
him. Weren't you one? Didn't you say the Rise?
I didn't
and-
like the grape one.
Yeah, the Kool-Aid. Yeah. I'm going to give the Sunny D a 7.2 out of 10. I like the flavor. If it's warm, it's not.
10!
Oh, gosh.
I like orange.
I give it like a 6. I mean, they nailed the flavor, but the bubbles in Sunny D just feels weird.
I get that. And it being clear. I wish it was I wish all energy drinks, if it
They're
said it was
all
this
yellow
flavor.
or white.
Yeah.
No, that
Um,
means there's dyes in it, and that's not good for you.
Fair enough.
On another note, the United States is banning food dyes. Well, not
I
all
saw
of them.
that. I think you shared it.
I did.
Of course.
Some of the main
Did
ones,
see
Red
this one.
40. I'm getting everything I voted for. Praise God.
Obviously, this is in the 1 slot because that's the only one we tried so far. Next up, Limeade
We're gonna be
from
like,
Ghost.
Electric limeade.
Electric
Oh, I'm
Limeade. About to be electric.
Ew, I don't like the smell of it.
So refreshing.
Ew.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like it.
It tastes
It's like a ginger.
I don't like
It
the
tastes like a
aftertaste.
Sonic limeade. That's why I like it.
I thought it tasted like Sprite at first. Mm-mm.
3.4. I know.
12 out of 10 for me.
That's
Ew.
valid.
What's my
Valid?
favorite?
I mean, like everybody's got their own taste. Like taste buds are so odd to me because we're all like think about it, like how God created us, like how everybody's taste
He
buds
knew
are
PJ
so
was
different.
gonna hate everything that I picked out.
Yeah, no, I don't hate everything. I'm actually excited for
2.
peaches and well, okay. What did I say? 3.4,
What kind of number is that?
7.2, 3.4. Get over it. All right, next up, peaches.
This is
I'm
at
about
the
to be
bottom.
wired after this.
I know.
All right, peaches by Ghost.
Oh,
I've
it
heard good
smells
things
good.
about this.
Tastes just like the Celsius one.
Tastes like the smell of my candle.
That might be the best peach flavored energy drink I've had.
Peach just tastes. It's good, but it just tastes so artificial to me.
I like.
Chemically.
Like that's not how a real
I don't
peach
usually like
tastes.
sweet, but like I like the ending of this one. Like
We'll put it in the middle for now.
I'm gonna.
7. Are you doing a?
That's 1. Peaches, Sunny D.
Peaches is 1.
Yeah, I really like that actually. I'd give that one like a 7.6.
The
You hate
points.
mine, right?
So
What'd you
dumb.
give it?
7.
I give it a 7 as well.
That's fair. I mean, we're all in the same ballpark. All right, these are pre-workouts.
I'm
This one,
excited
I'm
about it.
scared.
Miami Vice. Smells
Oh,
good.
this
Smells
smells-
just like a Miami Vice.
Do you know what a Miami Vice is?
Yeah, I don't drink them.
Pina colada and strawberry. Well, they have virgin ones.
Yeah.
I didn't know you knew what that was.
I'm not like completely oblivious to the world around me.
That's
Not all the time.
something. It's like
There's no bubbles.
strong.
That's
The no bubbles is weird.
Whoa. Whoa, I can already feel the tingle on my tongue. Or I mean on my lip. Oh man.
I don't
Is this
feel
a
a
beta
tingle.
alanine in it?
I just taste.
It definitely has beta
I
alanine.
just taste coconut.
feel like
straight
I got
coconut.
strawberry at first.
Your hand's shaking.
I know, I noticed. I was like, no, not
The
yet.
initial like sip is so weird, but then I just taste coconut.
I mean, I'm not against. I don't think I could drink this whole the whole thing.
I know the ASMR of your mic is gonna be.
Cause he's been like,
All I hear.
I'm gonna move that into the 3 slot. Limeade's still last. But
That's gonna be number 2.
you don't like the cherry limeade either, do you?
I don't like that it's not bubbly.
it's too. That one's too sweet for me. That
But the
one.
peaches.
That one's not bad. I'd probably put it like. I'm not a big coconut person. I'd probably give it like a 5.5 out of 10. I could not drink that whole thing though. I
No.
know. If I chug that thing, I can promise you I'm not sleeping for 3 days.
I could chug it and go to sleep.
If I'm going off the taste, it's an 8.
What about tying everything else in, no matter what it is?
A 6 because there's no bubbles, and I need bubbles.
Because it's not
Are you
carbonated.
a 5-year-old?
I need the bubbles. No, like sparkling water.
You like the
Ugh.
bubbles?
Yeah,
Not a fan.
like sparkling ice. You don't like those?
Pastor B is big right now on those. What do they call it? Like sparkling waters, like the one you could buy them at Starbucks. I know you just said it, but I forgot the
Is the
name.
mic gonna hear me like silent burp because I just
Probably.
PJ just
I just
know,
did
but
too.
Turn
It's
your
not-
mic, like adjust it.
It's not the LaCroix, right?
LaCroix.
LaCroix.
LaCroix. This way. Yeah, yeah. Keep going.
I
There
should
you go.
invite him over here to try those because he's
B?
Yeah.
Maybe after we're finished
Yeah.
and he doesn't know.
Okay, everybody, come on in here. All right, this is the one I'm most excited about because I love a Baja Blast.
A Baja.
A Baja Blast Zero.
from
LaCroix
Taco
Makes me
Bell.
feel better about it. So, Total War.
Smells like it. Total War. That's what it's called.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
100%.
I'm not
That's
drinking
number
another
one.
Sip of that.
What's that? You're coming home with me.
That's horrible.
Really? I
you
love
are
it.
mine.
If I had this like with some ice in, like a cup with ice and this,
I thought you said icing. I was like,
If it had bubbles too,
bubbles.
I definitely can feel that one making my tongue
My tongue?
making my tongue tingle. That's 1 for me.
Ugh,
I'm gonna go.
that's
1 as
horrible.
well.
What? That is a second to last.
What's last? The lime.
Yes,
I'm drinking all the mine.
the second one. Hey, give me the orange can. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna drink throughout the podcast.
I'm not gonna drink
Thank
one because
you.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, but
I just like the flavor of that. I think my highest. I think this was what 8.2. No, 7 point.
See, imagine if you just had like
Normal
real
numbers.
whole numbers.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to be questioning this.
7.7.
I didn't even rate the last one. I gave the limeade a 12 out of 10, but 10 out of 10. I'll give the Baja a 9.
So my 5 are the Baja Blast, the Peaches, the Savage.
I'm a savage.
This was the Sunny. No, wait. Oh no.
Yeah.
We're moving on.
No, Baja, Peaches. I think Sunny D.
Mm-hmm.
Then Savage, and then Electric Limeade, bro.
Can you say it again?
Savage.
Savage.
All right.
I used to have a list in
Your
first grade.
order, your final order.
Bro, I don't know. Sunny D, the Miami Vice, Peaches, the one that we just drank, Baja, ha 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 ha, and then the limeade one.
I'm limeade, Baja, Peaches. No, Sunny D, Peaches, Miami Vice.
Wow, what is happening outside?
We are under construction here at the church because our Forward Together campaign, we're trying to complete phase 1. Our old education wing, we are like they are completely tearing it up and tearing it down and building more Bible study classes because we're at full capacity for that.
Is that like over here?
Right.
I was like, are they going to
So
start this?
you walk through the students. Yeah.
They're going to bust
No,
through the door. and
This whole
start
building
tearing
that we're in
things down?
is specifically for college ministry.
Oh, word.
So I don't know when that phase, like what phase that room over here is in, but I'm excited because I'm going to knock some walls down and turn this into a Christian club.
Yes.
Psych.
Dude, there's so many people that are so down for this.
I think you should start it.
Where? Here. In the gym. I have to.
There's a silent disco that takes place there sometimes.
Yeah. That and it's stinky.
What?
I walked in, there was like no AC on.
Sweat.
And I was like,
everybody's sweating. All right, so now that we're
so
wired.
this might be one of the final 4 episodes in this room, God willing.
If he can buy this house.
An offer was just submitted.
Pray for him.
Yeah.
Pray for Coleton. This has been
I
your
need a
prayer
lot of
request
prayer.
for every week for discipleship. We always go through prayer requests, and this guy's for the last few weeks has always been house hunting.
Honey, hopefully it comes to an end today. So now that we're done
So
with
now that we've
Jesus
got
and juice,
All
We have a
all
question
that
for
out
you.
of the way, we're all wired.
hey, back to me. Now that we got all that out of the way, we have a question for you to kick off this next segment of
Who's the question
breakups.
for?
you. What part of you did you not get
I was looking that way because I was mad.
about breakups and filling voids? PJ, what's the biblical definition of love?
Oh, buddy. So, the biblical definition of love, because this word is, we can all agree, thrown around like no other. I think I told my first grade girlfriend that I loved her.
Oh, I
Not
didn't do
knowing. There are 4 Greek types of love. that
Agape?
Yes, you got it. Which one does that represent?
God.
God's love, yes. So agape is unconditional, selfless love. We see Jesus on the cross as an example of that type of love. It's a love that is honestly the biblical definition of what love is. But there's also, and I'm going to pronounce these probably wrong, but eros, which is romantic and sexual love. There is philia, which is friendship type of love. So think of like David and Jonathan.
Brotherly.
Yes, and that's
What
where
we
we're going to
have.
talk about that because
Aw.
as well, the philia love. Yes, we do have that love, but you see a lot of people in today's progressive Christians use that as an example of David and Jonathan having a romantic type of love for one another.
is not where I thought we were going with that one. So.
Sorry. Storage
me.
love
You
is a
scared me.
familiar type of love, and then agape, unconditional,
What's the last
selfless. It's called storage, which is a familiar. So think of like a mother and her child. That would be like a familiar type of love.
one? Okay,
but-
like family.
My question to you guys, I wanted to. Well, first of all, I
Familiar.
want to give you what Scripture does say.
Love is patient.
Which is
love
yes,
is kind.
1 Corinthians 13. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. And then we see the greatest type of love is displayed when someone lays down their life for someone else, which Jesus did on behalf of the world. And sadly, we don't see others reciprocate that type of love. Or in other words, they don't believe in Jesus for who he is and what he's done. And so my question to you guys, though, is based on those categories, where would we place dating? Because dating is it's not in the Bible. So when it comes to dating, what type of
that's a
love
good one.
is that?
That is a good question.
I feel like
Just
it
opinion.
starts out as the brotherly love.
I can
type
pull it back
thing.
up to you. Yeah, phileo.
Yeah, it starts out as that because like you start out with a friendship and
As you should.
you're growing in a bond together. But then when you're getting to the point of like I'm in love with this person, you're starting to fall into the eros one because like you have the desire to be with them, you have the desire to live a life with them, and then you have a desire to be married to them. So then it grows in that aspect. Yes.
Yes. What's the point of dating?
To get married.
To eventually get married, to get to know the person, though, to
Right.
spend time with each other, familiarize yourself, and that's what, like you said, it starts off with that friendship love. I think then eventually it becomes that familiar love because you spend so much time, year upon year, or for some, and we're not going to get into the debate on how long should we date until we're married, because I don't believe that there's a set time frame, but I think there's maturity, there's wisdom, and there is a different season of life for everybody, so it looks different for everyone. But like you said, friendship moves into familiar, which then upon marriage leads into an agape type love, and then Lord willing, and I hope this is true, because as husbands and men, we are to represent the sacrificial type of love, to lay down our life, be the protector. There should be an agape love that's formulated between a husband and a wife. So all four are expressed, but you have to start somewhere. My question to both of you, just to kick things off, why is dating, what is one unhealthy, toxic trait in dating that we see in today's culture?
Social media.
Oh, right off the rip.
Our generation, well, not even generational. This time span, century, that breaks everything. I feel like everyone could say at some point, social media has ruined their relationship.
I'd agree with that. What?
What?
Go. Let's what? Why? What? Stop.
No.
All right.
Continue. That was out
Social
of left
media,
field
though,
to me.
I agree with you. Social media, but what's the reason? Because I thought social media was just used for us to post pictures about ourselves and with our our boyfriend, our girlfriend, show everything what's going on in life. What's the downfall of social media in this area?
There's too much on there, too much power in your hands with a phone. Not even just social media, the internet, everything. You can go on Instagram and see half-naked people. I don't know if that's allowed to be said on the
It
pod.
is.
Okay,
like-
this is
Without even,
got it.
I don't even follow anything personally, and then
Yeah,
it'll
yeah.
just be a meme page that's always posted SpongeBob memes, and then there's
Right.
someone naked, and I'm like, what in the world,
Yeah,
blah?
you're basically saying there's so much easy access to be able to
Yes.
cheat on your significant other right
And
here.
you don't even realize it. Even following people on Instagram, and you're like, well, why are you following that person? It's like, oh, I've known them since high school, but now they post this,
Yeah.
and it's not right.
I also think there's a comparison thief when it comes to social media. I think when we see someone that has something that we want, we easily obviously put ourselves in the comparison mindset, but it also creates an envy in our eyes. I think this is an example. Social media as a whole leads to distraction over devotion to not only God's word, but devotion to what we do have, our family, our friends, maybe even a significant other. But what it's doing is distracting us from the real world that's happening around us. And we've placed ourselves over time into this like fantasy world, which we see in culture now. I think you would agree, politically speaking, like we live in a fantasy world now where people like somebody's our president. We're like, nope, not my president.
Yeah.
They put themselves in their own camp, their own bubble, and they live life as if nothing else in the world around them is necessarily real. They're distracted
It's
by their own
reality.
Yes.
False reality.
Yeah. What's your take on this, like the social media side of dating specifically, but also like your viewpoint, because your job is through social media.
Yeah, I think we like talked about before that social media can be just such an incredible tool and used for many great things.
Yeah.
I would argue that a podcast like this is a great use of social media because we're
We
talking
hope.
about real, raw, just different cultural things, different biblical things that people have a lot of questions about, and just sharing the gospel through it, through social media. And my job, I work in political social media, so it's like almost on the same level of like trying to just spread awareness about policies and different things like that. But then you get to the point of social media where it can become an idol in your life, where that's just like all that you look up to, and you just become so swamped in by the image of what other people think about you, and that's what you're trying to live for, and trying to just strive to be like this perfect person. And you post like all the amazing things in your life, and yet we all know that like we all struggle with different things. But we want everyone else to think our life is just rainbows and sunshine, and that's just not the reality. So then it's like a need to perform.
Yeah.
Because then you just want to keep it going. You don't want the people to find out, or you just want to keep that status. So then it's just like a whole cycle of just like deceit for yourself and deceit for others. And I think there came a point in my life, because working in social media, when I started with that whole My Choice video, that was like my kickoff of
That's what sent you
me
viral.
going viral several times. I was like on Fox News, Newsmax, all those, not directly, but they were using that video. So people start to know who I was, type thing. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I could be famous. And it went straight to my head. And that's what I started to live for, with not the right mindset of how I could be using social media for good. And it destroyed me. It put me at rock bottom. I mean, other things were happening too, that put me in that place. But I was like just so self-conscious about myself, because I was always trying to perform and compare to others. And it's just so unhealthy. And it just divides families, it divides relationships, and it will destroy yourself.
I think it's a prime example too. Like we read in Genesis, like the story of Joseph, and it says like you take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. But also on the flip side of that, the enemy takes what could necessarily be used for good and turns it into evil. And so I think we carry around these devices 24/7, and then we wonder why. Like, man, why am I so distracted? Why am I struggling with temptation? Well, you're carrying around the device that's leading you into temptation. And so I am a proponent of saying, like, sometimes it takes drastic measures, not only deleting social media, but maybe getting rid of your phone for a time being, using a flip phone or finding an alternative. I don't think that's the case for everybody. I don't think it's a one-hit wonder, but I do think you have to ask the question, like, how much do I care about how much this comparison or this social media or this lust is consuming my life, and what kind of measures am I willing to take to remove it?
I could see Hayden walking in here with the flip phone.
I would definitely do
want
it.
one of those block phones from like the 80s that you like from that
Pull the wire
or what's that show? Oh my goodness, it's gonna make me so mad. I used to watch it every day before school. The Saved by the Bell.
I never watched that.
Never
You're
even
old.
heard of it.
I mean, I know what it is, but I just never watched it.
Oh,
PJ's gonna crash out.
yeah, that'll be our next segment. top 5 like shows like before school. SportsCenter top 10 was obviously number 1. But SpongeBob, yeah.
Golden Girls.
Anyways, so kind of, I know we just jumped around with social media, but when it comes to dating, I want to jump to the heartbreak side of things, the breakup. All of us have experienced breakup. I personally believe that everybody should experience breakup because it builds character. I hope that your first relationship is successful and it leads to marriage and a long life together. But at the same time, we have taken dating, and you see middle schoolers posting about like the love of their life, and you see teenagers talking about they're going to build their dream home and have kids one day and all these things. And then a week later, after they've been dating for about a month, a breakup takes place, or you find Snapchat history notes of them talking to somebody else, like all those different things and
Middle
scenarios.
school and high school breakups are hilarious.
Yes,
It's
and
like
I look
the end of
back
the
on
world.
myself and I'm like,
Wow.
I was so dumb.
Mm.
I was so dumb. Thinking that I was, I was mature. I guess would be the word. Like mature in like how I was approaching dating, and mature in how I was
You're
talking
still
to
not
women.
mature. I mean, I'm not either.
Prime example.
Exactly.
No boy
But-
is prime example.
Hey, let's I don't want to like say, guys, let's talk about your last breakup. Let's do that. Now, I want to talk about when you experience breakup, initial response, but also like the character that was built through somebody else breaking your heart, or vice versa. Maybe you're like, I've never had my heart broken. I've always been the one to do this.
I think it's important to add to the question pre-Christ and post-Christ.
Yeah, because that goes with filling the voids in
Yes.
different ways.
So let's start with pre-Christ. What was like a breakup like, and then how did you
Respond.
Yes.
Well, you both already know it was my first boyfriend, like real deal first one. So I would consider it my first heartbreak, considering the ones pre. There's a different understanding based on how long your relationship is, but like pre-Christ, like high school Hayden, even a little bit of college, I would have immediately gotten on Instagram, Snapchat, added tons of people, gotten on Tinder, wanting someone to be like, getting those matches is validation to yourself. Like, someone else likes me because this person didn't.
I'm glad you got matches.
Well,
We're not proponents for Tinder, by the way.
no, absolutely not. I will say I never went on a date or anything with anyone on there, thank goodness. But it was literally just for to fill a void that someone didn't like me. These people people did.
The thing is like heavy.
I would my Snapchat would just be tons scrolling streaks with random people. Didn't know half of them, wouldn't even have conversations, just looking at someone on a screen.
Yep. As he's staring at her to like,
Relax, because I was watching the mic.
College,
Maggie's mom's gonna
like
be like, there they go again with problems.
another failed talking stage, you'd be like, all right, we're all going out Friday. Like,
Yeah.
you need to get your mind off something. And I would still go home and just be like, I still feel like crap. Like, nothing changed at all. And I mean, I've been a Christian my whole life, but I don't throw that word around so lightly anymore because that's just a word, I was lukewarm for a while, as people say the word.
By Christian, your whole life, you mean like,
grew up in a
Grew up in
Christian
the
household.
church.
right, but you
Yeah.
never fully gave your life to Christ until
Correct.
later.
Yeah, relationship has been different for me throughout every season of life, which I feel like it is for everyone. You grow in different seasons. Obviously, you get closer every time. It shouldn't take something awful to lead you closer, but sometimes it does, and
Yes.
it builds you for sure. But after my recent breakup, I just it was.
It's Keith.
Just keep going.
It was never a thought in my mind to do any of that, to get on Tinder, a dating app, anything. My first thought was getting on my knees and praying, and that's exactly what I did. Opening my Bible, listening to other podcasts of people explaining these same situations, how they handled it. And that was literally the first thing I did,
Yeah.
because that's all I knew to turn to for help at that point.
And that's how you filled a void. Yeah. I'd agree too, because I like pre-Christ, it would always be, even like after Christ, like in the immaturity stages of my faith, when one relationship didn't go well, I needed somebody to give me attention. Like I craved that feeling that I had when somebody else complimented me or, gave me even if I didn't really have interest, I was trying to fill a void, which then, that on my end, that is such a sinful mindset to have. Like I'm taking advantage of somebody, and I'm not looking at them as a human being anymore. I'm looking at them as an object that'll give me satisfaction for a temporary time period. And that's what I did. Like when one person broke my heart, I would turn to Snapchat, I would turn to Instagram, I would turn to anything possible to try to fill those voids. And so it was just like replacing one puzzle piece after another, trying to, they never fit.
Never healing at all.
Yeah,
just immediately another person.
It's like, I don't know if you guys, I don't like puzzles, but like when that one piece, you're like, I need that piece, and then you keep trying to put it in, and it's just not, it's not the right one.
Or you don't have it at all.
Or you don't have it at all.
Ooh.
Yes, absolutely.
Write that down.
Your take?
No, mine's like the exact same thing as yours. But instead of like just looking at Instagram and things like that, I was reaching out to people for like attention. I had a roster.
I did that. Well,
I had a Snapchat roster of like, if this doesn't work out,
You knew if you could go to someone else.
I'm starting to send pictures, like bad pictures, to this person, this person, this person, this person, just so I can get like the affirmation back. And then like not even just like after a breakup, but for like years I just did that.
Yeah.
It was just like a lifestyle for me because I needed that attention. And when I wasn't finding it in a relationship because I couldn't even get the relationship, then I just continued to resort to that.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah, and it becomes a cycle. Like you're so used to it. Why not just keep feeding it? We always talk about the plant illustration. When you water a plant, it grows. And so when we have constantly done the same thing, it's just natural. It becomes a natural instinct for us. So pre-Christ, but also, or immature stage. What about the other side, though? Because there is a healthy way of going about a breakup. And I think we've all also experienced that in some way, form, or fashion. Or there's been growth that's taken place. Maybe you were immature in the breakup, but then as time progressed, you like learn, man, there was some immaturity on my part, or maybe I need to reconcile something with this person. What would you say to that note?
Well, for me, and I know it's not me at all, but like we said, immaturity. I used to do those other things. Immediately, my first thought was prayer. And that's not me. I mean, that's God doing that in my life. And just like everyone's told me, but like seeing it in myself, the growth just I've personally made in a year, even the 2 months since I've been broken up with my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, like just seeing the change in myself, it's insane. Just immediately on the way home from breaking up with him, I put on Girls Gone Bible and listened to their whole thing about breakups and was just bawling my eyes out in the car. Like, and I mean, they tell you how they experienced it. I think listening to other people's testimony about the same situation is very helpful because you're like, I mean, I've never experienced it. I'm like, how am I ever going to be the same?
Yeah.
You know, obviously everyone should go through heartbreak or will at some point, maybe not. But just turning to the right things and knowing that when a door is shut, something bigger is on the other side. And that was the biggest thing that's always helped me. My mom's told me that since I was as long as I can remember. There's always something greater. So that was also a peaceful inside of me, knowing that there would be something better. And I'm like, if I love this person so much, I just can't imagine how great the next person's going to be. Yeah. And that was really comforting to know that.
Absolutely.
My last breakup wasn't bad. Like, didn't end badly, and it was very healthy and stuff. But I think surrounding yourself with people who are walking with you, doing life with you, like you, I confided in you like throughout the whole entire time of I never had someone to just talk to about relationship advice. So finding that person that you can just ask questions about, who I would say preferably who is already married and has gone through the whole dating phase and
Yeah.
the relationship, even if it's early on like you, but just someone who's already walked through it and can understand it and help, I think is very vital to the person who's experiencing the breakup to be in a better mindset.
Yeah. I agree.
Because you would like point me to Christ every time. I'm like, are you praying about it?
Right.
Have you opened your Bible?
Yeah. And I think that's important to note because, like, sometimes the common Sunday school answer here is, well, like, God's got bigger plans, you got to pray. And I think it goes beyond that, though. I think it warrants, like, hey, let's sit down and have a conversation. Like, let's hash out, like, all these things that you are feeling. And, like, because when you hide them and then I say, like, just pray about it, you're like, oh, great. Like, thanks. But it does take us with being vulnerable. And I think more importantly, like, not only with each other, but with ourselves first. Like, so there, like, for some people, like, writing it out is so healthy. For me, it is, because I will go into a tough conversation or a hard conversation or just, like, thoughts within, like, when I sit down and I'm like, I've got to, like, think about this. It's so hard for me to kind of, like, remember all those things. My brain is, like, 27 different, like, places. However, when I write it out and I write it down and I'm able to, like, think about my thoughts and I'm able to, like, feel my emotions there, and then, like, sit down and confide in somebody else or talk with a small group of guys that are walking with me, it does wonders. Because, like you said, hearing other people's perspectives and opinions on a matter, especially if they've already gone through it, is so valuable. Because it's like and it's that common thing, like, each of us has probably heard it from a mom or a dad figure, where it's like I remember my mom telling me about one relationship I was pursuing. She's like, I'm just telling you, like, you've done this once, like, you're going to do it again. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Then I look back and I'm like, wow, Mom was right.
No.
Moms always know. And
Yeah.
I truly believe that. Like, it's 9 times out of 10. Like, so you should listen to outside perspectives. You should listen to those that are older to you. The Titus 2 model is that men pour into younger men, women pour into younger women. And I think there's so much value in that, because we're learning from those that have gone through it, but also, on the same token, having people like those guys that, and we just talked about discipleship. It'll be 2 days after this podcast releases, but we talked about too, like, discipleship is more than just, like, confiding in each other's secrets and knowing everything about you, but it's like it's pointing each other to Christ, and I think one of those things is, like, when we say we're pointing each other to Christ, do we truly believe, like, in full, the gospel and its power, even in circumstances like a breakup? There's a song out there. It says, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. And I'm like,
It's my mom's favorite Bible verse.
yeah. And there's so much value there, because we are human beings. And I think it warrants that honesty with ourselves to say, God, I know I trust you for salvation. I've heard it before said, and I've said it in sermons before, but if his blood is sufficient to save you, his blood is sufficient to sustain you in every season, every moment. And so we have to cling to that. And it's going to be a time period. It's not something that happens overnight, but rather it builds character throughout time.
A lot of people, like, we talked about this too, the whole why do bad things happen, and then people, like, question the breakups. But for me, when I go through these, like, hard times, my faith is way stronger than it is during, like, now.
It's good, yeah.
Like, when things are going great, sometimes I do just go through the motions. But when things are rough, faith is being built, prayers are being prayed, and it's just growing. So there's been times where I'm like, everything's going too good. And I catch myself, and I'm like, Lord, wreck my life. And it's
a bold
just,
prayer.
And then he does. I'm like, why? Why'd you do that? But it's just
Don't listen to me.
But it's just to shake it up to where I can, like, refocus my mind and rebuild the faith. I have a question. So we talk about love. We kick this segment off with love, and I think it's hard when you're in a relationship with someone, whether it ended badly or well, and you're in love with that person, or so you think. How do you move on from that to, like, are you always going to love the person that you've always been in love with? Because we don't believe in soulmates, right?
Yeah.
You don't. I don't know what your take is on soulmates.
We had this conversation last night.
Yes, we
Oh,
did. And then you and I kind of talked about it the other day. I think every person is put in your life for a reason. Everything
Yes.
is going to happen for a reason. I think you will always have a heart for that person, but it turns more into a brother and sisterly love in Christ rather than
Or
like-
it should.
right. I'm not going to get married and be like, I'm still in love with my ex-boyfriend. I still love him and care for him always,
Yeah.
but it's a different type of love.
It's going to go from the brotherly to the eros back to the brotherly type thing. Makes sense.
So your question here, what was the question though?
We
We
should
jumped
have
on
answered it.
soulmates. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't believe in soulmates for the necessary, like, I believe God has sovereignly given Jordan and I marriage and love for one another, and I do believe like she is my wife, and I'm gonna she's the
I
last
also believe she is your wife.
she is I'm going to by the grace of God and Lord willing one day have children with Jordan and die married to Jordan, and that's the end all be all. But if something were to happen to me today, like if I say, like, and Lord forbid I died today,
I'm going with you. No, take me too.
and Jordan is left as a widow, I would hope that she would remarry. You know, she's 24 years old. I would hope at this stage in life that she would consider remarriage. And the covenant's been broken at that point because I've died and passed away. And so, in that sense, the question's then raised, like, well, who's her soulmate, me or the next guy?
Right.
But I do believe we're soulmates in the
point.
sense of like once I married her, I made a covenant with her, with the congregation of people, and more than anything with God. And I'm gonna honor that till the day that I die.
I don't know who I was talking to. I don't know if it was with you or someone else. But I think the whole, like, if you were to die is kind of different than a breakup
Yeah.
or a divorce. Because I've seen so many people who...
Did we talk divorce with Keith? Did we get on that?
Not fully into it.
Okay.
But, I mean, in a sense of, like, I know so many people who have lost their spouse, got remarried, but they still have this, like, strong feeling for their spouse that died. And can it overshadow your love with your current one
Yeah.
in a negative way?
Absolutely.
Because nothing ever broke up the first one except death.
Yeah,
Death did
and
you
I think
part.
that's a wisdom standpoint, though. Like, am I? It's like a. I don't want to compare these two because they're different. But like, think about a breakup in a dating relationship. Like, some people are not ready to jump back into a relationship like that. And more than that, like somebody you spent a majority of your life with. Sometimes you've got it. This is where like people in your life are so valuable. Like inviting them in to those things. And I love how Harris Creek does their life groups. JP Pluta's church, they like every decision that a couple or a family makes, they're inviting their life group into, and they're saying like, "Hey, we're considering buying this house. Do you guys think that here's everything laid out financially? Do you think this is a good idea?"
You'd be like, yeah.
I'd be like, do it. No, but like I think it's so valuable. So like, say like I passed away and Jordan there's a grieving process. I hope she's grieving. But she comes and she's like, I don't know if I'm ready. She killed me. She comes to you guys and she's like, I just don't think I'm ready. And that allows you guys to step in and pray with her, come alongside her. And that's that is the identity of a Christian. Like, I love what Brett posted about the local church yesterday. He said, until that you have paid for somebody else, you've given to the church, you've cried with somebody, you mourned with somebody, you will never experience true value from the local church. And I believe that to be true for every Christian. I think until we've experienced like loving somebody else well where they are and dying with them and grieving with them and crying with them, we'll never experience the true joy it is to invite those relationships in. And so on the standpoint of a divorce or a death that leads to becoming a widow, I believe it is so valuable and so true that it can go either way. Like, does it overshadow the new relationship? It might, but like that's gonna be a wisdom question more than anything else. Like, are you truly prepared? But say they are in a new marriage already and they're experiencing that. It warrants a conversation between them and the person that they're married to, helping them understand, hey, I lost this person in my life, but also inviting accountability in as well.
Good answer. So back to you. So how are you moving forward now? Like, how are you continuing to grow, not necessarily like away from this person, but just preparing yourself to be back in the dating field post-Christ? Finding Christ.
Well, personally, I don't want to do that anytime soon at all. And a lot of people like say that. I had a couple people say, like, you kind of seem like you moved on quickly, or when are you going to start talking to guys again? And like that hasn't even been a thought in my mind yet, because I mean it's only been a month, almost 2 months for me.
That's also a church thing. They're like, they're ready.
And I'm like, I still don't talk to anyone that wasn't him. But where was I going with this?
Not being ready yet.
Yeah, and people are like, well, you seem fine, like you seem healed, which I mean anyone can seem healed because obviously things happen behind closed doors. But personally, like, I'm healed in the sense that I know God is going to take care of me and I'll find someone else. Just like I said earlier with the door shutting, like there's always going to be something greater. I think, kind of like you said, every storm builds you. Sometimes you need the boat rocked in order for something. And not even just breakups. I think anything in your life, losing a job, a friend, a parent, a significant other, anytime anything wrong happens in your life, the first thing you should turn to is God. Prayer. And I, like you said, PJ, when people are like, well, have you prayed about it? It's shallow, but it's true. Like, genuinely have you? I know that's the easiest thing to say, but my mom gave me a little something like sits on my desk, and it says, have you prayed about it yet? And that, I mean, genuinely, I look at that and I'm like,
I have not.
Got to go do it real quick. And just instantly making that connection to God and saying, heal me. And even that sounds simple too. Like, genuinely, like, I prayed that night, woke up the next morning, and just, like, realization in my head, you know, I finally stopped praying for that I saw something that said this. Stopped praying for him, but instead started praying for him. For, like, the different fours. I don't pray to be with him, but I pray for him, you know. He'll grow from this, I'll grow from this. But submitting my feelings to God, having him change my heart, you know. I can look at my ex a different way. I can look at myself a different way and what's being built from this storm. You know, we don't want to go through storms, but it always takes, to me, it takes hitting rock bottom to realize that God is the rock. And I saw that somewhere, but that's like my favorite quote ever. And this wasn't my rock bottom, but my first breakup, like, thinking, how am I ever going to get through this? Like, I know other people have gone through it, but it's never going to work for me. And then it did.
The whole pray about it thing's funny because Carson Hucks does that to me all the time. I'll say something, he's like, did you pray about it? Like, you're an idiot. But no, I haven't. Thank you.
Yeah, like, you could say more, but that also...
Right.
Well, I think it goes to show, too, like, this just shows how much we put people on pedestals, like, especially when it comes to exes or relationships. Because here's the thing. When we say, have you prayed about it? Have you talked to me? Like, here's the thing. we haven't prayed about it, but we sure have talked about it with everybody else besides God. And I think it goes to show like what standard or level we've placed God on. Like, and instead of going to the source, we go to the surroundings, and it's just then we wonder like, well, I've
Why
heard
is
all
nothing
these opinions.
changing?
Yeah, why is nothing changes? Why has nothing changed and so forth? Like, yes, implement discipline, but discipline yourself for godliness. Pursue Christ. Like, and I think this goes back to the fact like how you view God is the most important thing about your life, because it'll dictate things like this. But it doesn't just happen like in an instant. You're like, oh, I prayed about it and I feel phenomenal.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like, I'm going to discipline myself and I'm going to watch as, and maybe it warrants like journaling every day or seeking wisdom from a mentor, a counselor, and just like looking back on that progress to see how God's built you. And I think we've talked about that so much. In like, we talk about like tough seasons and stuff, but then we're like, hey, and you remind me of this all the time when it comes to ministry. You're like, look back on this past year and see how much God has grown us, has grown the ministry. And it's moments in time that you remember and you place in your heart and your mind, and you're like, man, that was so worth it. Like the trial I went through was worth that one moment, and I'm so thankful of what I've learned now and grown from in order to pursue that. I may not be out of the hole yet, but I am sure on the upside of it.
It's the whole reflection thing.
Yeah.
And just not forgetting what God's done in your life and never getting over it.
Look what you've done on the
Right.
cross, in the
Right.
grave.
I think
Like
Yeah.
your day job.
Thanks.
you said you journal and like write everything
kidding
down.
me? My
and
meeting just got rescheduled. It's fine. Continue.
what time do you have? Anyways, you said you write everything down in a way that's, you're writing it down. God knows what you're writing down, obviously. But instead of putting people on a pedestal, like anything in your life that goes wrong, obviously not just a breakup, we already talked about filling voids and stuff. I initially would have never first prayed about it. And this time I like saw that and felt the need to do that. What I do is I literally, I'll still yap to my friends about it. And, thank you, Jesus, for the friends that allow me to talk about the same situation 400 times until I get over it. And I know everyone feels that. But I probably look like a crazy person. I just walk around the house just like talking out loud to God, to, whoever's in my house that might hear me. Usually no one's home, but I can't write it down. But I did like the thing we did at midweek that one day where you write it down and crumble it up.
Mm-hmm.
I did that as well. I liked doing that.
I bawled when I did that.
Yeah, I don't like crying in front of other people, so I will not cry in front of other people. But like things like that.
And then I just got over myself and my pride and just let it happen.
I
Let
know, but
others
if you're
in.
an ugly crier, it's embarrassing.
Let others in. Oh well.
Anyways, speaking of that, I have a couple quotes because I also looked all this stuff up when I went through a breakup. Like talking about it to God and other people. I saw something that said he can turn your pain into purpose and hurt into hope. And
Put it on a sticker.
yes, needs to be.
My stomach. Put it
But-
on the Battle Belongs merch that
Has not released.
I just think just things like that, knowing that something is going to be better in the end. There's always something to look forward to, even
Yeah.
if you lose a job and you get your
Perspective
best
is
job
everything.
in the world. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Knowing something greater lies on the other side of the door.
Mm. Yeah.
I think another point is when you're going through a breakup or a hardship, more specifically a relationship type problem, worship music. We want to listen to the sad songs to make us sad and cry.
I've personally never been that person. I hate that because I don't like to cry.
I used to be. I have a sad boy
I listen to
hour
happy
playlist.
music to make
Um,
myself feel better.
There was a time where we listened to sad music and I was like, we're done with this.
Wasn't it on like the
realistic.
car ride home or something from
Yes.
Bama?
And
But that's
everyone was like
perspective,
putting
too.
in songs. And I was like,
Guys,
I was going with the vibe, and then I was like, absolutely not. We are getting the spirit of Satan out of here, and we're turning on worship music, and we're going to sing
Exactly.
praises
Be happy instead.
and worship.
Did you have another quote? You said quotes.
Yes. We kind of already discussed it, but like the quote itself says, it's okay to cry and you probably should. Don't try again too quickly, which people try to tell you should. You may have failed, but God didn't. You're better having
God did.
loved and lost. Even if you can't be friends now, you'll be siblings forever. And that's what we talked about. Your love for that person changes perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think, and I think it's important to note too that like just because like the breakup could have been healthy, it could have been horrible.
Or in the middle.
Yes, like there are endless amount of ways that they can end, but I think it's important to note that not every breakup means that you have to be best friends with that person now either. Even the healthy ones. But I think you have to ask yourself, like, man, what does Scripture say about these type of relationships? Like, they are not, like, I don't believe that they're your enemy. They could have done something that creates an enemy in them. There's a, you're standing on two opposite sides of something that happened. But at the end of the day, I think reconciliation is something we have to pursue. And I think about Jesus on the cross, and I think about his forgiveness standpoint to even those that he knew would never believe in him, those that nailed him there, those that beat him, put the thistle of thorns on his head, all of those things. And I think about that, and I'm like, man, I make so many excuses as to why I shouldn't forgive this person or I shouldn't have a conversation with this person, but instead, I have to ask myself, like, if Christ had done that for the world, I can do this with one person.
Exactly.
So.
I have to remind myself of that a lot because
100%.
I used to be awful at holding grudges. And I'm like, the things I've been forgiven for, I can forgive this person for fibbing to me over something,
Yeah. And it when you reconcile, that doesn't mean like I'm texting them, I'm hanging
we're
out
not
with them.
besties now.
No, like I think it's healthy, and sometimes it does lead to friendship, like, and praise God for it. But at the same time, God's not holding it over your head to say that you have to be, best friends. But to say like I'll never be friends with them, don't say never, especially to God. So
Never say never.
I stopped saying never, and I stopped saying it's luck.
And just said that.
Okay. This is
so.
Go ahead.
No,
Okay.
I was going to talk about ending it. Like I was
just going to say any final thoughts.
Yeah, I want 3 do's and 3 don'ts in breakups from each of us.
Oof.
3 do's in breakups.
Like
after a breakup.
After a breakup.
Do surround yourself with Christ-like people that you can confide in, and that will lift you up. Do listen to worship music instead of sad music to get you in your
Set
feelings,
your mind right,
because Satan will use that to manipulate your mind and your emotions. Number 3, pray. Get in the Word.
Pray without ceasing.
That's what I was going to say.
Pray
they can be
ceasing.
repetitive
Don't
too.
have a seizure.
Oh, we're each doing our own?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you're giving 3.
Okay.
But it could be
What's
repetitive.
my don't? My don't is the opposites of those.
Don't listen to sad songs.
I got a good one. Don't go and bash the other person to other people because of something that they did to you. Write that down.
Or your friends bashing them.
Right.
Yeah, surround yourself.
They think that's what that people think that's what you want to hear. They're like, oh, screw him. You'll find someone better. Like, I don't want to hear that. I loved that person.
So on that note, number 2 is don't make the story worse than what it was.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will start lying about that person, not even just talking about the person, start lying about the person to make them look bad to other people as well.
Yeah.
Number 3 is don't isolate yourself.
Mm.
A lot of people, when they get down, sad, upset, they want to just go in their room and never come out again, and that is where Satan will get you.
Never once
the
did the Bible teach us to run this race by ourselves.
Come on.
Right.
Come on.
I'm preaching Sunday, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. Can't wait.
Thanks.
All right, Hayden. 3 do's.
Do submit your feelings
To the
God.
Lord. Yes.
I'm still learning that. I mean, obviously, it's a journey you walk every day.
Yep.
My eye keeps twitching.
Probably from the caffeine.
Yeah, my lips were tingling earlier. I was getting
telling you.
antsy. Do confide in someone older with wisdom. I mean, even my brother being 2.5 years older has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
I won't tell him that though.
Hopefully he'll listen to this.
And do, I would say music too, but I don't want to take yours.
That's okay. I mean, like,
Copy it. I mean, mine were great advice, so you can.
I mean, if
Let's do
I were to ask you guys, like, what's one book we should turn to, I hope you'd both say the Bible. So it's okay.
Oh,
to
I
have
thought
the
you meant a
same opinion on
specific
stuff.
book in the Bible.
Actually,
John.
mine that's currently being read.
Anyways, okay, my don'ts. My
Go.
don'ts. Don't get on Tinder, Snapchat,
Mhm.
anything of the sort. Don't reopen a door God shut.
Mm.
I look at that a lot. I personally don't believe in right person, wrong time, because if it was the right person, the time would have been right.
Yeah, it's not a love story on a TV series.
Could be.
Grow up.
You can, but anyways, that's a whole
No,
different
you
topic.
can't. Don't.
That's a whole right person, wrong time is not real. That's a whole different topic though. to be
Debatable.
discussed. And don't fill voids with the world.
Yeah. All right. 3 do's in a breakup. Do confine in other people that are going to build you up, not tear you
Colton
down,
builds you up?
nor tear them down. Build you up in the sense
When
of,
people have problems and they come to me,
hey, it's on me.
I'm actually-
It's me.
No,
talking
you
my
always
turn.
revert it back to yourself.
No, it's my turn.
No, I'm talking about him.
Oh, yeah.
Just clearly.
Come back over this way.
he
Yeah,
wants
camera
this-
on here.
He wants this part clipped. So restart.
No, I don't want it clipped. One is confining in people that are going to build you up, point you to the word, point you to prayer, carry those burdens with you, show up when you're left out, when you feel down, all that jazz. I wholeheartedly agree. Do not isolate yourself. Wait, this is a do, right? Yeah. So, do surround yourself with people that are going to build you up.
Yep, we said that one 5 times now. That's still number 1. Get to number 2.
Do start journaling. Just start journaling your thoughts, or even writing down 3 things that you are thankful for. The everyday things, like I'm thankful that I have a bed that I can sleep in, a car to drive, food to eat, clothes to put on, all those things. And remind yourself daily of those little things, because those little things add up, especially when you're trying to avoid filling a void with something other than that. And then 3, a do is, I think,
What in the world?
I
was
got a
that?
few don'ts for this one. Do find something that you love to do and fully implement it. And so, like, if it's like I've had a goal of working out, start doing it. You know, if you love reading, start setting aside a time every day to do that. Develop something that's going to grow you and mold you into the person that God has created you to be.
And take your mind off of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we do implement discipline, and we've had a few podcast episodes talking about different forms of discipline, I think it's so valuable because, again, you're pursuing a goal, and you're looking at it from a standpoint like of little success over time builds you, and again distracts you from like what took place. 3 don'ts: do not begin posting on social media or trying to fill a void by having other people compliment you, or just be a person to replace the other person. Do not turn to social media in that sense. Another don't: do not surround yourself with people that are going to tear you down or tear the other person down. I think that's so common. We want to just eat ice cream and, talk about all the bad things. What it does is it leads to gossip. And if you are a Christ or a Christian, you're a believer in Jesus, then you are actively sinning, period. When you decide, I'm going to bash them, I'm going to spend time just wreaking havoc, and what it's going to do is going to fill your thoughts. There's a psychological impact that's going to take place, and you're just going to tear somebody else down. And the Bible even talks about there's no room for it. And my final don't final don't. Do not. I would say do not fill the void with another person. I said social
A
media.
rebound type thing.
Yes, like do not because what happens is you're basically turning that person into an object.
Mm-hmm.
And I can assure you, pornography, lust, temptation, even through text messaging, is not going to fill a void. It's going to bring temporary. I'm gonna say the word satisfaction, but it's going to lead to dissatisfaction, and it's going to be. I've heard that saying, sin is freedom until you try to stop. Sin feels like freedom until you try to stop,
Mm-hmm.
and then you realize like that you've become a slave to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, mine were a little bit all over the place. So I
Temporary
apologize.
pleasure for a long-term problem.
Yes.
And you
Yeah.
never fully heal, I feel like.
Hmm.
Like, even
you're
getting
dwelling on it.
into my past relationship, like when we started dating, realizing that I was never even healed from the people I was with before because I immediately needed compliments from other guys, satisfaction from other people. Like, you bring that into your next relationship if you've never healed.
And that's where you're placing your identity too, like in how other people view me instead of how God has created me. So
Mm-hmm.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we wrap?
final thought is if you consumed all 5 of those, that would be 1,200 milligrams or close to 1,200
I
milligrams.
think you should do it.
Okay, guys, how many likes for
You'd
us?
have a heart attack.
I
Yeah.
do want to say, last thing for me, you said the other day that I hurt your feelings because I made a joke or something that would relate to you
Me
not
not
being
caring.
there for me.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about how, like, you need to surround yourself with people. And I just want to say that I'm sorry that I may have hurt your feelings if I did. I didn't mean it. And that you have
gonna
been
cry.
a total blessing for me
Okay.
to just confide into someone. I'm not done yet.
Okay, we don't need to get
And-
sappy on here.
And other than God, he's obviously the first person I'm going to go to, but you're going to be the first worldly person that I'm always going to go to.
You're such a
just
worldly person,
confine in.
PJ.
Well, he's a human, so. And
I
I just
know
want to
what you
say
mean.
thank you for being that person and allowing me to come to you and be vulnerable.
You're welcome.
My final thoughts are God is close to the brokenhearted.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not broken right now, but I'm about to be. I don't have any final thoughts.
Good. Pray for me that I get a house. And then we're going to have a studio here someday. Not here, in my house. We'll see you next week.